Many of us learn early in our lives that making other people happy is beneficial. Children want the approval of their parents, teachers, peers. That's completely natural. But when we learn to dismiss or ignore our own needs to meet the needs of others, then it becomes problematic. You might have heard of the good girl syndrome. That refers to a tendency to take care of other people at your own expense. And that means growing up with fears of disappointing other people, not wanting to speak up in case other people are hurt by what you say, needing to excel at school or at sports, obeying rules to the letter, generally making other people more important than you. Of course, this dynamic isn't always gender specific. The notion of self-sacrifice applies to anyone of any gender who sacrifices themselves in order to make other people happy. And a popular meme kind of says it all. Don't set yourself on fire to make other people warm. I love that. Says it all. Okay, and keep in mind also that low self-esteem contributes to binge eating. Although it's natural to seek the approval of others, it's natural. When it's taken too far, it hurts our self-esteem. And then that contributes to binge eating. Why? Because a lot of people pleasers don't allow themselves to recognize that they actually resent sacrificing themselves to take care of the needs of others all the time. So they might binge on food to symbolically stuff down those thoughts, and then they get mad at themselves for what they ate, for how much they weigh. So if you're afraid to speak up because of what other people might think, remember this. You learned this way of relating to the world. And if this is weighing on you, if this is affecting you, here's some good news. You can learn a new way. You can learn to live life on your own terms, and I have 5 tips for you. 1, learn to say what you think. If you're concerned about the opinions of others, you may have developed a habit of keeping your opinion to yourself out of anxiety or fear. So start giving your opinion on smaller issues. Like if you're asked what movie you want to see, don't say, "Oh, I'm fine with whatever you want." Instead, give a specific and definitive answer. And as you get more comfortable with this, as you get more comfortable with sharing your truth instead of bearing it, lest other people be uncomfortable, you can start speaking up about more important issues. Number 2, focus on what you like about yourself. Make it a daily practice to consider what qualities you like about you. Focus on a daily win, something you can feel really good about. And that can be an accomplishment, a boundary you set, something that just makes you appreciate yourself. Because when you approve of yourself, you're far less likely to need approval from others, and then it will be easier to be authentic and to speak up. 3, remind yourself it is impossible to make everybody happy. No matter what you do, no matter what you don't do, no matter what you think or say, there will always be someone who doesn't agree or who has a problem with you. What can you do? Something else to keep in mind is that when we try to please everyone, we tend to be less respected. We tend to admire confident people, and confident people usually trust themselves and aren't afraid to speak up. So give it a try. Number 4, give up the idea of perfectionism. How perfect was that? If you replay conversations in your mind long after the interaction is over, you might believe you'll be judged for any response that's less than perfect. We all occasionally do or say things that are imperfect or even wrong. But consider whether you judge people harshly over minor misstatements or minor imperfections. Chances are you're much more benign to others than you imagine others are to you. So maybe, just maybe, other people are less critical and judgmental than you imagine. And number 5, set boundaries with unreasonable people without apology. When you start to speak up, when you're not so agreeable all the time, often at your own expense, right? Some people might not like that. They may challenge you. They may tell you you're being difficult. They may try to pressure you into conceding to their wishes. They like you better before. The way to deal with them is to set a firm boundary. Something along the lines of, that doesn't work for me. Or, I'm happy with my decision. In time, those people will learn to respect your boundaries and be more considerate of you. So we all seek approval from time to time. But when the need for approval and the fear of causing waves creates anxiety, the wish for approval is detrimental to your self-esteem. When you speak up, when you set limits, when you practice self-care, life will be far more enjoyable. And when we have a free and more relaxed way of being in the world, guess what? We don't need food for comfort, distraction, or for any other reason. With a little practice, you can free yourself from worrying about what other people think, and you will be so glad you did. So give it a try.